Hi everyone, it is PZ Pat here, and I am here again for lesson number 2 for going to the moon. First off, I want to say I'm very sorry for not getting this out there sooner. I know there were some people that really wanted to see this. I have a good excuse. I'm going to post it on Friday or Saturday, and I ended up getting sick. Bad fever, so I just basically slept the whole weekend away. But then I had finals this week, so I pretty much was limited to school and being. Well, I apologize for not getting this out sooner, but we're going to make up for it today. I'm going to teach you how to get to the moon, back again safely. It's going to be good for a couple of reasons. First off, we did the basics already. We already know how to kind of build a craft, so we're going to go through that kind of quickly. We already know how to get in orbit, how to get back out of orbit too, orbit to land. But the big thing is, in career mode, to get science, there's a couple ways to do that. You can either transmit your science back to Kerbin, and you only get a certain percentage science value if you transmit. Otherwise, the way to get the most science is to actually come back and bring the samples, bring the reports from the mission directly back to Kerbin. So going to the moon and back is going to be a big step in getting you a lot of science to unlocking things in the tech trees. That's why we're doing it this way, so making sure you can get there and back and have plenty of extra fuel. If you make some mistakes, not a big deal. So we're going to go ahead and start right now. We're going to actually, like I said, we're going to kind of breeze through this a little bit faster than I was previously, because you should have monkeyed around with building, and you should already kind of know how to do it, at least a little bit. So I'm not going to just explain every step. I'm going to do something a little bit different. We'll explain that when I get to that point. We're doing the same pod, the smaller pod. We're going to build a lander. It's going to be, I'm going to warn you about this lander. It's not the most stable. It's a little tricky to land. But easy to build, and it's just right here, believe it or not. That is actually more than enough fuel to get you back, land on the moon, and get you back to the oh. I'm gonna make a little ladder here for our guys. So one ladder rung, and we're gonna use ability enhancer leg. Landers need lander legs. I'm putting it on symmetry mode to 3. I'm gonna put lander legs, use the ones, their legs. Kind of offset them so that they're around the that's our lander. Get us on the moon, land, and take off and back to columns. Need some more stages though. Need a transfer stage to get us from the moon, or I'm sorry, from Kerbin to the moon. The way I'm building this, I'm thinking that, honestly think that this stage will more than likely also has just a little bit. We'll see how efficient. I have that, and we're going to use. We'll use the. Okay. That another stage, and we're going to use a large under tank. We're going to use 5. Okay, and now this is not enough to get into orbit, obviously. At least I would hope you think you can fill that at this point. We're going to add some more engines. Previously we used solid state rockets, or solid fuel rockets, sorry. Act as our booster that's high enough into an orbit. We're going to use chemical rockets, liquid fuel rockets. The reason we're doing this is I want to teach you guys a little bit about using fuel line. You don't have to do this, there are other ways to do this. Also going to say this is definitely not the most efficient way of doing it. The biggest reason we're doing this is because I want you guys to learn how to do this. So you'll have some fuel left over in case you make a few. You should definitely have. So I'm going to put what I did. I put some radial decouplers with force symmetry. I'm going to add another set of fuel tanks underneath those. There we go. And I'm going to use that same 5-4 engine. We got 5 engines here. We're going to be firing at the same time. Now these ones are double stacked fuel tanks, you'll remember. But the thing is, look at our staging down here. You'll notice that all 5 of those engines are going off at the same time. Well, we're going to make it so our center engine, even though it's only got half the fuel, always stay full. To do that, we're going to use a fuel duct. Very important when you place your fuel ducts that you start the direction you want the fuel to come from where you first start clicking. You want the fuel to go from the outside tank click on outside tank, on the inside tank. We had symmetry mode on. Same thing, all the exterior tanks. This will make sure that center tank is constantly, no matter what. So even after we jettison stages, we'll have a full tank of fuel on that bottom one. Okay. Change my staging here. If you notice that it's actually releasing the outside engines time as that center one, which I want. So I'm going to move that center engine to that stage. We're looking pretty good here. This is actually pretty much set. I am going to add some tape and some wobbling, also known as struts. Mode on, and I'm just going to strut from the outside to the end. Full enough for our flight, the atmosphere. We also. Oh, I did do a test run of this. Just doing this, I want to point this out. This is a pretty heavy spaceship. All right. It will take a little bit of effort and a little bit of time to get into orbit. So I'm actually going to just add a little extra to get up to it. Another set of radial decouplers. I'm going to put them out on the outside there. We're going to use one of the television. Oh, like I said, this is not the most efficient at all by any means. So that for a second. The way I play Kerbal Space Program is I do it to have fun, and that or boosters. I'll do another lesson on efficiency. Scott Manley is another great guy to look at. He's got a lot of awesome designs out there that he's done. Much more efficient than what I'm doing. I'm going to have so much fuel left over that I'm not going to even know what to do. But it'll be entertaining. Okay, so we're set here. I forgot to check my... I move that there. These are the releases for the solid boosters, or the solid engines. Add all those engines. Well, make sure you check your staging before you leave the pad. I kind of didn't care. I'm going to throttle up on SAS, and we are ready to launch. Solid fuel should run out faster. Pretty good. We're moving pretty quick here. So the previous one, I did a dry run, and I did it with just rocket from the outside. And you can make it. It is possible. Very possible. But I'm concerned that you guys won't have enough fuel to make some. You know, if you make a few mistakes along the way. That's why we're doing it with fuel. So just give you a little extra help. Right. Still burning. Actually, moving so quick, we're probably gonna start a gravity to improve. We do gotta separate our solid from here in a moment. There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and start my gravity turn. That's extremely important. If you're looking at your nav ball, stay along this 90-degree line here. It's hard to see sideways. You really need to make sure you do that, especially if you're not going to the mud. The reason for this is we want to be on the same axis that the Mun is. The Mun is on a pretty even orbit, so staying right at that 90-degree line will really help you encounter. Very important. Yeah, we're really a lot of fuel left over. Alright, we're above 70,000. Alright, 75,000 is sufficient. We have quite a bit of fuel left. Remember, it may not look like it when you're looking at your indicator here, but that center tank is actually jettison these outside engines, and we're going to have a whole other tank. That one there, and that should be size my orbit. Go ahead and line up, ready for our circulation. Oh, all set. I kind of know this is those things that practice. You'll start to understand what happen when you're pointing at certain spots on the nav ball. I don't know if I brushed on it before in the previous lesson, but the nav ball as the orange side being the ground and the blue side being the... Right now I'm slightly into the ground. Above it a little bit. Almost atmosphere here. happened pretty quick, but I'm gonna actually start my engines back up here. We're out of the atmosphere. And these fuel tanks are gonna run out of fuel. Go over and we'll see. Your tank is pretty full once I drop it outside. Go. That out. A full tank of fuel on that station. Well, that engine was on the entire time, so not too bad. And we are circulating very well. Pretty heavy still, so it's going low. We'll make it. But while we're circulating our orbit here, I'm killing some time. I just want to say thanks to Zeph on Reddit who gave me some good positive feedback. We are switching mediums to YouTube only this time. Reason for that is I didn't have any live viewers while I was doing Twitch. Part of that was because plan ahead to sort of get it. Give the guys like what, a date list or something. Even just a couple of hours, I can't really remember. So I think what I'll do is I'll do YouTube for these videos. Quality will be a lot better because obviously with Twitch, uploaded or recorded on Twitch and now have Twitch. It'll be better for everyone, I think. We're almost circularized. I got my periapsis visible now. There. But I usually try to keep it somewhat circular, but it's not terribly important. There we go. We're pretty close. 82,000 and 78,000. We're in a stable orbit now. Bring in there. I apologize. All right, so we're set. We're in orbit. Zoom out and have view. There is the Mon around us. Now we need to set up a maneuver node. What we're going to use the maneuver node for is to basically help us find a good path. I know that through experience that the Mon is our encounter is going to be right around here. We're in kind of like the 10 o'clock range if you look at where the Mon is right now. So it'll be somewhere right around here. I'm going to actually set up a maneuver node. That I click on my current path. That maneuver. It's pretty much on the opposite side of curve. What is going to happen is we're going to actually shot around, have our encounter, like I said, over here. Making a maneuver node, you'll notice you got some new icons popping up here. Two of them should look familiar to you. You've got your prograde and you've got your retrograde. Prograde, we want to go faster. We're going to go ahead and push that out, and you can see this is our new path. Oh, look, there's an encounter already. What I'm noticing, though, is that it's on the left side of the moon on the we want to actually be on the other side of the Mon. This more energy, more velocity here. There we go. Now we're on the right side. Take some tinkering around, especially if you're new at using the maneuver nodes. Pretty much want to get it set up so your periapsis is really close. Better. I'm going to try and shoot for around 50,000 meters. Is so much better at this point. Move it around a little bit. Oh, I had it. Good. 1,000. 75,000. What we can stick. So I finished that and I clicked outside of the area to lock it in. Look, we got a new spot on the map. Another thing I want to point out, that if you look, we're actually shooting off. Gravity of the Mon is sliding us outside of Kerbin's gravity, actually. Now, on your gimbal, you're going to have a new marker. It's going to be a blue little cross. I'm going to spin around. I can find it. The opposite side of my retrograde. Oh. Little tip, guys. You're actually outside of the atmosphere and you're rotating your vessel around, you can use your time warp keys to lock you in place. You don't have to like pull down the opposite direction to try and slow down your speed. Only works if you're outside of the atmosphere, though. Skip time because notice down here, we have some new little indicators by our nav ball. We have node in T-minus 10. We have 8 minutes and time warping. Got about 8 minutes to get to our maneuver node. So we have an estimated burn time, so that means we're going to fire our engine for roughly. One thing I do want to point out is that I just realized this. Probably going to have to redo this a little bit. We're going to switch to another state during. Probably have to do another maneuver node. That's okay. The ordeal or anything. Just aware that since you change your engines, your burn, it will mess up your. Anyway. Seconds away. See, we're getting pretty close. 10 seconds away. I'm going to use that time to exactly at my little blue marker. If you look, exactly in the center of my probe. Okay, here we go. So we're burning right now. I've got SAS turned on to keep. We're burning. We're going to run out of fuel on this stage, and then I'm going to switch to the other one. We're going to see what happens. Hopefully, it won't throw everything off too much, but it will throw it off. Go. Stage. Alright, we're on the course. I did definitely increase my burn time a lot, because this stage is a lot lighter. Gotta keep a close eye on it. Make sure that your blue marker might move a little bit, and that's okay. That's normal. Just make sure you're locked on. Okay, I'm down because. So. There. Almost think I might have passed it. Yeah, see, like my blue marker disappeared, so I might have passed my, Oh, see, alright, it is a little messed up, so we're going to delete this maneuver node. Now, we don't have a paralysis. That means we're on a collision. We're going to smash. I want to do that, so I'm going to add a new maneuver node. Try and shift my angle that way. So if you look at your nav node, you still have explain for how it works. Velocity that way will increase. Look at it from behind, because backwards you have your right angle and your left angle. Just to the right, just there you go. That gave me a paralysis. Good. I can burn. Very, very good. Move on my, and I'm up here quick. Gotta find it. Here, nope. I misjudged. It is right there. Here we go. At my. Yeah, we got it. Where's that? Now we are on course. Fun. Go ahead and speed time up because counter is hours away. Now we're at another important part. You've made it to the Mun, now inside the influence of the Mun, but we don't, we're not going to stick around if we sit. We're going to actually slip out our way. We don't want to do that. Fix that. Go ahead and add another maneuver node at perhaps this of the Moon. We're going to decrease our speed. That will help cap our orbit around the Mun. Lose and burn off some of that. Oh, that. Well, a 9-second burn will give us a pretty stable orbit. Seconds. There we go. Yeah, 11 seconds, and that will put us at about a 40 here around the Mun. The Mun doesn't have an atmosphere. You don't need to worry about drag in the atmosphere or anything like that. You can actually pretty safely get orbit at right around 10,000 meters. Anything less than that, you're at risk of hitting mountains. And I try to shoot for like 50. I'm going to do a couple course corrections here. Speed up time. Set my new maneuver node. Close. Alright, 2 minutes away. Minute. Okay, 10 seconds away. Once again, steel. SAS to point. And we're going to go ahead and start our burn. Oh. There. Here we go. We're on the maneuver note to delete it. We are further around the planet, around the Mun rather. This is where people get locked up. Some people can make it here and get into orbit and everything. Don't know how to land, and actually a lot easier than you realize. What to do is you basically pull all of your velocity that you're using to spin around in an orbit. What'll happen is you're going to be floating, X thousands of meters above the Sun. At that point, you will then most of your velocity that's straight down. This is a lot easier than you might think. Looking at my status here, I want to make sure I have a decent amount of fuel left. We're going to use up most of the fuel. Important thing to keep in mind, especially since it's brand new to landing, really want to land on the light side of the Mun. Right now, Brad, we're going to actually wait one full second. I want to make sure, I want to get my path a little bit closer to the surface. 5,000 meters is far away. I'm going to go and look for my prograde marker. Retrograde, I apologize, I used the wrong term. Or retrograde, the opposite direction for point. I use retrograde here, what's going to happen, bring in this side. It's going to bring our orbit on the opposite side. Basically, where we want to be, try and land right around here. A little bit of our... Oh, that's pretty good. 13,000. That's... Bring us around. Now, here's another little tip for you guys. Especially since you're going to be maybe a first-time lander. I didn't know about this feature for the longest time, but it's very, very wise. Quick save, you press 5 on your keyboard. That's a save point right now. So if I totally miss my vessel up and hit the ground way too fast or something, press and hold F9 on my keyboard. That will load me right back to where I'm at, so I don't have to scrap the whole mission. I remember when I first started playing this game, there were so many missions that I scrapped, and those were I was out at trying to land on doing a accident loaded, and I was like, oh, there's 2 hours out of the, just gone, but learn, right? But we're set up pretty well now to make our approach. So, like I said, it's pretty simple. We're going to actually point at our retrograde marker. The remainder of this, I'm actually going to be using here, so you can hit, and you don't need your map anymore, really. Pointing at my retrograde on SAS to keep locked in. Start burning. We're about to use our next stage. Go. So this is our lander stage. This is what's going to get us to the moon safely. Back to Kerbin. Now take a look at this little indicator here. This is what you want to be paying attention to. Orbit. How fast we're going. Now we're going at 200 plus meters. Kind of down. We're losing our speed. 150 meters a second. Going down. Now I want you to... doing this kind of fast, so I'm apologizing. You'll see my retrograde marker started moving quite a bit. The reason for that is we're actually moving up and down now fast, our side to side. So, that means, look at that. This is our path now. I'm actually going to keep pointing at the horizon line a little bit and do a little bit more burn. I'm going to put that marker right in the center there. Okay? Okay, so I moved that marker as close to the center as I can. That means we are heading straight down. If we're directly at the center, top of our navball, that means we're... Right now, we have to land, or not. Build off all of our velocity that's traveling us in a circle around the Mun. We need our landing legs down. Toggle my landing gear. There we go. On the Mun, I recommend trying to land... I usually try to shoot for under 10 meters a second. The lower you can do it, the better. A lot of this will come with experience. Might take you a couple tries, so remember to quick save, okay? I'm gonna quick save right now, just in case I make a mistake while I'm recording this. Getting a good spot to land is kind of hard. Start slowing down a little bit because we're out of here. Don't want to just hit. Need to fine tune to make little minor adjustments as you go along. That's okay. We use SAS to lock you in once you're want to be. We're at 5,000 meters right now, and I can start to see on some of these boxes now. I'm not burning full throttle or anything right now. I'm just kind of slowly keeping my speed the 40s and 50s. So don't go too fast. Most efficient way to do this is to make it so that you don't actually burn any of your fuel until you. Pretty darn good at timing that. Alright guys, we're actually almost there. Oh, that's it. I'm going pretty much straight down. Meters a second. Very close to the ground. We're 3,000 meters level on the mud. I don't know what that means exactly, but turning, we're at 11 meters a second. Okay, I'm gonna turn my off again. We're safe here. Right. Go. That. Perfect touchdown. So, we're gonna SAS off-road. Just to reiterate on what we did there is we killed all of our velocity that was making us travel around the moon. Once we were basically falling straight down to the bottom, or a straight surface, I started using my engines to pull us down. If you're on a planet that has atmosphere, or a moon that has an atmosphere, you can parachutes to do the same thing. Kerbin. Moon doesn't have an atmosphere, we really. Here we are, we're on the moon. I'm going to deploy my ladder. Little buddy Schuster here. Yay. Right. Off good. Playing man. That's how you land on the moon. Probably need to watch it a few times. Get it right. That's fine. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask. I'll be more than happy to help you guys. I'm going to design different. But this lander is pretty tall, so its center of gravity is pretty high. It's probably not the easiest lander to use. But it will get the job done if you just slowly time, remember to quick save. Just alright, so now we gotta get back. Back in his little ship here. Put my ladder. Now getting back to Kerbin is super easy. There's no atmosphere on the Mun. We don't really have to do very much work at all to orbit. Oh, look on your nav ball. Before you take off, take a quick look on your nav ball. Look at the direction you want to be going. And you want to shoot for that 90-degree line. Another important thing to remember is very confusing sometimes to look at nav ball and not the camera, because your angle from what you're seeing on the camera, it could be different on the actual nav ball. Use the nav ball to navigate. Do not trust the camera. It's really hard. You'll end up making mistakes and you'll wind up pointing right at the surface of the planet. Go ahead and start my engines up, and as soon as I do that, I'm going to base 90 degrees. You're going up a little bit to get a little bit of a net going. Right, basically, I'll be going straight into orbit. So here we go. Right about there. Landing legs up. Go see, look, we're already well on our way to an orbit. I'm going to get us at about. Go. So once we get closer to our apopsis, we're going to do another burn to circularize just like you would anywhere else. Of course, the difference is that this time we're don't have an atmosphere to worry about. It's actually really nice and easy. I'm warp to get it away. Okay, that's go ahead and start burning now. we're still kind of extending here. If you're not paying attention to what I'm doing, I'm basically burning for a little while, stopping, time warping my popses. Is the most efficient way to circularize. I want to do it as close to the popses. Right on it this time. Notice that making even bigger and bigger changes. Get to it. Yeah, there we go. Safe orbit at this point. We're not going to hit the ground on the mountain's big enough. That is dead. Getting back to Kerbin is super easy. It's almost exactly the way we got the Mun. The difference is that since we have parachutes, really easily land. We really only have to worry about getting into the atmosphere. The atmosphere of Kerbin slows down enough to where we can just safely. Now I'm going to do something pretty aggressive. If you guys are using mods out there, there's one deadly reentry. That makes it so there are certain speeds you want to hit the atmosphere at. Because let's face it, in real life, you can't just aim straight at a planet when you're flying in at several thousand meters a second. Vaporize. Kerbal Space Program, you can do that. There's no repercussions for that at this time. But I want you guys to keep that in mind. What I'm doing as far as our entry, planet would most certainly kill you in real life. So I'm going to put a maneuver node. Probably put it around here, I'm thinking. I'm going to start adding velocity. Here we go. But we're still pretty far out. 5 million meters away, actually. I'm just going to basically in until just barely check out. I want to be move my maneuver node. We're here, I guess, huh? Thinking this at this rate, I'm looking to. I'm expecting about a 14-second burn. Okay, and that's going to end up being 5 million. Not there. Look at that. Now, 100,000. Good. Right now, I'm just moving for my actual mover node. Okay, so that was probably the most efficient around there somewhere. 9. Add more. Prograde. 3. 7. I'm going to shoot for about. Okay, that's going to be my goal. That will be. Oops. At this point, what will happen is we will slow down enough in the atmosphere that the rest of our speed away. So, I'll show you how that works. We're going to go ahead and time warp because we've got 30 minutes. Our case. I'm so close to the surface. Warp that fast and forth. I have to listen. Right. Well, next lesson, by the way, since we're pretty much already. Next lesson is going to probably be on career mode. I want to get you guys started. Probably won't happen until later on this week. We are releasing an update tomorrow. That update makes some changes to the science system. I'm actually going to need to start playing it again myself just to relearn some of the new stuff. That's just, I wanted you guys to keep that. I might instead forego that and maybe even just move on to military travel to get you guys to like or something. You can always do a minimus mission. Look forward to you guys' feedback and see what you guys want next. Though it sounded like career mode or science was kind of a popular choice at some point on Reddit already. So alright, we got 5 seconds on SAS and we are ready to do our burn. Go. Remember, keep a very close eye on it. Don't trust your thing, because as soon as that thing starts moving, your actual velocity meter, you want to keep an eye on your marker. Looking for. We're getting close. Yeah, I actually stopped my engine because we were getting close. I can tell. Don't have to do full speed. Do a little bit at a time. Burn a little bit more. I'm gonna keep low. Go 29,000 or 20,000. That's just fun. So you can see here's our new path. Our Mun escape, and what'll happen is it'll look a little weird. Paths will intersect. Go ahead and turn on some warp. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Intersect. Hold on to it. It'll intersect right there. We'll be on a course to fly around that way. Here we go. Bam. Now we're on turbines. Longer the months. Still pretty far away. We are well on our way back home. Go, we're down to meters. Okay, now another thing, guys, important, especially as you get closer to the planets, don't recommend being at full speed for your time warps because sometimes this game is a little buggy. Notice it do some pretty weird and odd stuff if you're max time warp when you're about to enter the atmosphere. Sometimes it works fine, but other times I've had ships just appear or explode or happens and we skip the atmosphere and it doesn't slow us down. Just kind of pay attention to that. Try to slow down my time warps as I can. We're almost going to be entering the atmosphere. Remember what I said, the atmosphere starts right around 70,000. 9 points. It changed because time warp will change. Yeah, so it was at 68 something. Technically inside the atmosphere. So we're going to go to map view and show you something. Look at my apopsis. It's decreasing. That's because the atmosphere is slowing us down. It's doing the exact same thing that our fuel or using our engine to slow that drag. We're going to go ahead and switch back to our craft here, off SAS because we're going to start. We're on fire here pretty soon. Got some time warp on right now to up. You can see, look, that little bit, just the atmosphere is all it takes to slow down to the point where we will be on essentially a collision course in it. Get really good at this. I'm not super great at it. I'm decent at it, but you start to kind of figure out, okay, try and land in this area and you'll figure out. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't planning that. I'm hoping we'll land on land. Like we will. We'll be okay. We're spinning. We're on fire. Actually going to go ahead and we're moving pretty quick. Use up the fuel I have in my engine, right? Why not? We're at 60,000 meters. I don't want to be going too burning fuel at this time, guys. I'm actually over. All right, I'm going to go ahead and jettison that stage. And I'm going to parachute. We're right above land. We should be landing on the land. Up. Watch that debris for any moment, it looks like. A rough landing since we're on a mountain, so we might end up tumbling down into the ocean. I hope that's not the case. Boy, yeah. Be alright. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in. I hope to have the next lesson later on this week. I'll have the video uploaded tonight. You guys can give me some comments and feedback. I always appreciate it, especially positive. I don't mind if you call me names and everything like that, but feed. You guys all have a great night.